Saturday, a week ago Saturday. We went to Kinskoff, Haiti, with friends of ours who are adopting a little boy from a creche in Kinskoff. His name is Weasley. He was turning 9 on Tuesday. Yeah. And so we went with them to Haiti to surprise him for his birthday.
That was a lot of fun. A creche is basically an orphanage, but at this particular orphanage, you can be adopted. Like, they are available for adoption. At a regular orphanage, you can't be. Whether there's family that won't sign off, or just different aspects play into that.
So if you're an orphan in Haiti, you have to have 6 family members sign off for you to be adopted. If they won't sign off, then you go to an orphanage. If they will sign off, you go to a creche, which is called a creche. So the particular creche we were at, there were 40 kids, and they all but 2 were there so that they could be adopted. They had all already been matched with families, all but 2 of them. Yeah. And the 2 that weren't?
One was a little 9-year-old, 8-year-old boy named Ezekiel, and he had sickle cell
anemia.
Yeah, and his parents are deceased, and you're supposed to have 6 family members sign off, and his grandparents won't sign off their rights. They won't come visit him, they won't send him presents, but they won't sign off their rights, so he's just kind of stuck there.
But the reason he's at, the place we were at was called Chances for Children. So the reason he's at Chances for Children is because he was at an orphanage, which we'll tell you about in a little bit, and he, because of his sickle cell anemia, Chances for Children has a 24-hour-a-day nurse that's on staff. So they brought Ezekiel down to Chances so that he could get the attention and the care that he needs with his sickle cell anemia. But the hard part with Ezekiel is that he cannot be adopted. So all of the other kids, but him and the other child, have families, and Ezekiel doesn't.
And he knows he doesn't. He knows he can't be adopted.
And he quickly melted our hearts.
The other one, his name is Sanel, and he is 16. And basically, you have to be matched with your adoptive parents before you turn 16, and he turned 16 a couple months ago, so he's not available to be matched anymore. On this particular trip, I brought my guitar, and the hope was to be able to play on Sunday. Was get to play a song and with some of the other people that we went with. That didn't work out too well, so I kind of had the guitar and no use for it. So I decided that I was going to bring it up to the creche for the kids to play with, and
to play for the kids.
Yeah, and to play for the kids. And all of them loved it, but Sanel loved it the most. So I decided that I was going to give him that guitar so that when everyone gets adopted, because even Ezekiel, if his grandparents will sign off, will be available for adoption. So Sanel was the only one that absolutely cannot be adopted, and so I figured when everybody leaves, he'll have my guitar.
So tell them about when you gave him the guitar.
So I told them I was leaving it, and they're like, wow, thank you. And then I told Sanel, hey, this is your guitar. So like, you tell when people play with it and stuff. And he starts neighing and jumping around.
He's like dancing all over the outside of the
and like
plane.
Shouting, and he comes back and he's like, thank you. And I'm like, oh, why didn't I give this to you like 5 days before?
Right? It was probably one of the neatest, happy experiences I think that we had while we were there, and that was really cool. We did Kinsey, it was the right thing to do for him. It made his day. So there's an orphanage that's also connected. It's not doesn't come under the umbrella of Chances for Children, but Chances for Children is the main donator for this orphanage. We left the creche with one of the local Haitians, and we walked probably 3 miles, maybe 4 miles. It was Flag Day, which is similar to our Independence Day. So we were walking uphill. It was packed out with people. Kinsey and I are like holding hands and looking probably like really outsiders. Well, we were because we were white, but our eyes were super, super, super big. So we walked uphill, and we went through these crowds of people, and then we ended up at this place that had like a phenomenal view. I mean, you look to your right, and it was just this ravine with these gorgeous mountains, and then you turn right and you go into this area that is absolutely deplorable. I mean, it was a dump. We would have called it. We probably would have dumped our trash there and called it a trash dump. But we slid this iron door open, and we all stepped in, and we were in this. I wouldn't have even called it a building. I don't even think you can.
I feel like it's sort of like a condemned building,
like what? Yeah, I mean,
we would have called a condemned
building. So it had a tin roof. The roof didn't go all the way to the sides of the wall, so when it rained, I'm sure the floor was wet. It was dirt.
They caught the rain so they could drink it.
Yeah, that's where they got their water from. It was dirt floors.
No lights in the building.
There was one nanny, 40 kids, one nanny. She was sick, and she couldn't get up to take care of anybody, so she wasn't. And there was these kids, and there was nowhere to run. You didn't play. The kitchen was a open fire, one pot, nasty. Chickens were roaming in and out of it.
The bathroom's a hole in the ground.
The bathroom is a metal door that you pick up and you squat, I guess. I wouldn't even know how to use it. I mean, but around it was their laundry laid out to dry. So they would go to the bathroom and in their clean laundry, which they had hand washed, if that can make it clean, and it was all laying around. And so we went upstairs, and this stairs. They were like, I thought we were gonna fall. Like it was this hike up these stairs, and these little kids are peeking out and peeking around, and they were dressed pitifully. I mean, their clothes were nasty, and it was just pitiful. And we went into this room that kind of looked like a schoolroom, I guess, but it was tiny, and it had a bench along one wall, like some benches along two walls. Yeah, there were benches, and then there were just a few like school desks. Kind of random, like
a chalkboard or something.
And a chalkboard was against the wall, so there were just kids lined up all the way around. They didn't know we were coming, so they couldn't have been prepared for us, but they were just sitting there. I mean, just sitting. They had no way of knowing we were coming.
No toys, no nothing.
There was no toys, there was no nothing. They were sitting there. So we walked in and we greeted them. They sang us a cute little hello song. Yeah. I don't even know what they were saying, but it was in English, but they were saying something cute. And then they sang us This Little Light of Mine. And we kind of hem-hauled around and picked 10,000 reasons because we had sung it with the kids at the creche. So we thought maybe these kids know it too.
And they did.
So we sang it to them. And we sang the first verse. And then all of a sudden they took it.
Yeah.
And they started singing.
Our worship is holy name. Living on oh, my soul. I started to live on his name.
Take it up.
Oh, my soul. I should live on.
Yeah, because these kids had nothing to bless the Lord about. Or we would think they had nothing to bless the Lord about, but they thought that they did.
Yeah.
And so it was really cool. Somebody had given us some Barbies from the West Side for donations, and we never gave them out at Christmas time, so we took them with us. And we took them to this orphanage, and when we told them that we had them, like, they actually all started coming forward, like wanting to look at the Barbies. But we had to give them to the nanny because there wasn't enough to pass out, but they were so super excited. So after that was over, they walked us around this. I don't know where the kids went. I guess the other part of the team was talking to the kids, and so we walked around into their rooms. Did you go with me?
Yeah.
So we walked into their rooms. Walking into the rooms was surreal. There was no running water. There's no electricity.
The rooms are dark.
And the rooms are inside like plastered walls. So there's no sunlight whatsoever.
And they don't have flashlights to get to see either.
So they never see. We were there in broad daylight. They never see. The room was pitch black. It was probably one of the most gut-wrenching, heartbreaking things I think we've ever seen.
Being at church and seeing all these, like, all the Haitians who have nothing, have The city water's undrinkable. There's mosquitoes everywhere. It's just it's a third world country, so it's kind of awful. But at church and all over, they are singing and thanking God for what they have, and for like putting us to shame with their worship. Honestly, I mean,
There was no instruments.
none at all.
None. But they sang.
With more passion than we would sing with a full band.
It was great. And they sang for hours. Like, I thought, really, can they sing again? And they were singing old hymn songs, like, what was the song they sang? Jesus, I can't remember the song they sang. It was an old one, like, that I would have been like, oh, that's not my favorite. And they're like, I mean, like, thank you, God. And I mean, their prayers, when one prays, it's like this chorus of people praying, and just, they would turn away from each other, and they would turn toward the walls, and they would just, like, pray, and it was fervent, and it was,
Beautiful.
I don't know, the idea that he's adopted us and he's made us his children, but kids that can't be adopted, how do you understand and fathom that? I don't know.
But then there are the ones who do get to experience what it's like to be adopted. One of the highlights of our trip was getting to experience the Cook family meeting their son for the first time ever. I've spent so much time watching videos of parents meeting their kids for the first time, but we truly got to be there and see it for the first time, and video it, and get to know these people. And so they were there to meet their son Itai for the first time, and it was such a overwhelming experience to watch this little boy be embraced by his father, the man that would raise him and teach him to become who he should be. What a beautiful picture of being adopted to the family of God.